Well, Nigeria is blessed with so many sporting icons, and just recently, 60 of those icons were recognized and honored for Nigeria's 60th birthday. And one of those icons was Mary Onyali Omagbemi, and she is definitely an unforgettable.
In lane 3, Mary Onyali looking very, very good, and Inger Miller of the U.S. out in 6th. It is going to be Mary Onyali and Pravalova second. Correct, maybe a photo for third. 22.08 for Onyali, a faster time than won the Olympic gold medal. But again, they ran 4 rounds in Atlanta, including 2 on the same day. But Onyali has to feel good about running an excellent time against a great field.
Mary Onyali Omagbemi's long and brilliant career is a model for many ambitious young stars of today. Onyali Omagbemi was the reference point for Nigerian and African 100 and 200 meters, especially in the 1990s. She was the first African woman to break the 11 seconds barrier in the 100 meters with a 10.97 seconds effort in 1993. In the 200 meters, her 22.07 seconds African record stood for 22 years before it was broken. Such was Onyali Omagbemi's supremacy among African women sprinters that by 1996, she had run 40 of the top 50 times by African women in the 100 meters and 43 of the top 50 times in the 200 meters by athletes from the African continent. She was the first Nigerian to represent the country at 5 Olympic Games, that's between Seoul 1988 and Athens 2004. And talking about major events, Onyali Omagbemi won medals for Nigeria at the Olympics, Commonwealth Games, and most consistently at the African Games. This picture of Onyali Omagbemi and her 4x100 meters teammates celebrating a bronze medal at Barcelona 92 Olympics has been shared many times and remains one of the most iconic celebrations in Olympic history, as it captures the saying that you don't have to be the gold medalist to make a mark at the Games.
Just a reminder, at the Olympic Games, you don't have to come in first to win.
Mary Onyali Omagbemi, Africa's first female sprint superstar and a true unforgettable.
Africa's first sprint superstar, Mary Onyali. That's the woman that we have in focus today. And what a champion she was as well. And she's continued to grow even beyond track and fields, beyond her professional career. She still maintains some relevance till today.
Very, very true, Chisom. Athletes like Mary are no more. I say this because she's always been special right from her days in secondary school in Lagos here. And in time past, you began with World Junior Championships. Those were the learning ropes after going through the young strides. But Mary has always, her elegant running style has always stood her out.
Yeah.
When it came to sprints, especially between 1991 and 96, in Africa, she had no compare. Yes, they were the likes of Beatrice Utondu, Faith Idehe, some of them you saw in that iconic picture in 1992.
Yeah.
But she was a step ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just the beauty. Even in the international scene, it's pretty unfortunate that she came at the period of the very delectable Marie-José Pérec of France. The beautiful, elegant athlete just pushed Mary a little bit behind. We're eating for people like José Pérec and perhaps later Kathy Freeman. Mary always stood out wherever she went. Was it in collegiate games in America? Was it in the continent? Was it Commonwealth Games? Even Commonwealth Games, she dominated. 1 gold. As a member of the relay team, also 1 gold. She was truly an athlete never to forget.
Definitely. Oji, I'm sure you have some things to say about this amazing woman.
Oh, sure. Anyone who watched TV in the 90s will athletics, Nigeria at different tournaments, the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games. You will find a reason to like Mary, not just the beauty, but the way she does her job. Even when she doesn't come first, you see the effort she has put into that race, and that translates into personal records, for her or Nigerian records. And you just wish to recreate that time again, bring it back, and when she was on the track, and even post athletic career, she has also continued to show that young ladies can aspire, and I just hope we could find someone, or if it's possible, create another Onyali.
Yes, and I remember going to visit the African American Museum in Washington D.C. and saw a lot of things there, but the pride that I felt seeing this picture of that Barcelona 92 bronze medal winning team, 4x100 meter winning team that had Mary Onyali, Beatrice Utondu, Christy Opara Thompson, and Fred Tidehe, and the pride I felt. I took a picture, I posted it on social media just to see that their reaction, that iconic picture, transcended that Olympics, transcended Africa, and went way beyond what we imagined it would go beyond. They were sure it was.
Moment. So they're up and looking at the board.
Yeah.
Did we make it? Did we make it?
Yeah.
And the joy was over this one, when they eventually discovered that they made the medal zone at 92 Barcelona.
All right, we also now have a friend of the family join us as well. He is the founder of Making of Champions. Bambo, welcome to the show. Good to have you join us again. Of course, you've heard us talking about Mary Onyali. What an iconic figure she was and still is to this day.
Yes, Chisholm, thanks for having me as always. Mary Onyali, what can we say about her? Our very own queen of the sprints. Obviously, we all remember Atlanta 96, the 200-meter bronze medal, and then obviously the relay bronze in Barcelona 92. But Mary Onyali's story really starts, back in 1985, back in the 80s, when she went to the university, Texas Southern University in America. Few people know this, but she first took the 200-meter Nigerian record in 1987, and then the 100-meter record in 1988. And that really was the beginning of the greatness that we saw from Mary throughout her career. 18 years at the top level, 5 consecutive Olympics. And here's what's most incredible. This is why she was known and will always be known as Nigeria's queen of the sprints. Can you believe that from the start of her career till 1996, if you look at the top 50 times run by Nigerians in the 200 meters, she had 43 of those times. Right. If you look at the top 50 times run in the 100 meters by Nigerians, she had 40 of those times. So really, she was the first sprint superstar for Nigeria, for Africa in sprinting.
Yeah, and you look at the times, the people that have come after her now, the people who broke her record. I remember her long-standing record that was broken by Blessing Okagbare for the 200 meters, I think it was, and the way she celebrated Blessing Okagbare as well. So you take a look at the 100-meter event, Blessing Okagbare 10.79, Gloria Alozie 10.90, Mary Onyali 10.97, and Damola Osayomi 10.99. Now you take a look at the generational gap between Mary and the other 4. Pretty incredible.
Yes, pretty incredible, because Mary obviously set her 10.97 at the World Championships in Stuttgart in 93, and that stood as the Nigerian and African record until Gloria Alozie's time in 99. And it took another 14 years for Blessing Okagbare to come along and break that. And even though Blessing has also broken Mary's 200-meter time, you have to look at, if you look at the top 100 times that Nigerians have run in 200 meters to date, Mary Onyali still holds almost half of them, about 47 of them.
Yes.
And Blessing comes in at about 25 of them or so. So Mary's still undisputed greatest for Nigeria in the 200 meters.
Yes, definitely. And now LJ said we have to recreate Blessing, Mary Onyali, and that's what Making of Champions is doing as well, trying to create icons like Mary Onyali, and maybe even better. So we now look at what you've done. Joy Udo Gabriel comes to mind. I've followed her for some time now as well, and traveled with her or met her at international competitions. But let's talk about these new crop of players and what we need to do now, because Nigeria hasn't won an individual medal at the Olympics sprint in such a long time. So what's the next step forward, and what is Making of Champions doing?
Well, thank you very much, Chisholm. You know, it's a long game, sprinting. We like to joke that it's a marathon, not a sprint, actually. But if you look at when Mary's career started, 1985, before winning an Olympic medal in 92, that was 7 years.
Yeah.
Now, this is Joe Gabriel winning the national title last year in Kaduna for the first time. You know, she was the discovery of the year at the Nigeria Sports Awards last year. Or the year before, and she's had a meteoric rise. But we must remember that she's still a rising athlete. She's still an athlete of potential. You know, she hasn't yet reached the levels of the Mary Onyalis, the Gloria Lodzes, the Blessing Okagbares, and we must understand that. But we must also understand that we have to start somewhere. You know, so. You know, Making of Champions, we've been training the likes of Joy for the last 4 years, and we recognize that it's a long game. You know, you have to first run 11.6, 11.5, 11.4 before you can eventually get to 11.0 and 10.9. You know, and that's the journey that athletes like Joy Gabriel, we have a young quarter miler, Blessing Oladoye, and a lot of other young girls coming up in Nigeria. You know, so it's, you know, this is the start of the journey that the likes of Mary started in the mid-'80s and culminated in Olympic medals 5-10 years after that.
Bambo, what you guys are attempting to do right now is an almost impossible task. You know why I say this? Most of the great athletes that run from Nigeria left here, went to school in America, most of them in Texas, and the rest of them eventually became what they were. Well, here you are in this environment of ours in Nigeria, trying with Deji Aliyu and the rest to build these athletes here in Nigeria, feeding nutrition.
Performance center of some sort.
Yeah, feeding, nutrition, you know, medicaments and the rest of them. How easy are these to regulate the environment, bringing up athletes that are standing out in this part of the world?
Thank you for that. I mean, it's been difficult, but we press on with the knowledge that it's not impossible. If you look at the likes of Jamaica, the likes of Usain Bolt never had to step a day in the US to be successful and to make it, you know. And so Nigeria, we have the resources, we have the knowledge and the know-how to do this ourselves, you know. You're right in saying that the likes of Mary, in fact, the whole 4x1 team that won that bronze were all in the US collegiate system. That is correct. But you also have to look at, is that the only way, the only path to success? What has the US collegiate system done for us in the last 10 to 20 years? Yep. It has produced Blessing Okagbare, Toby Amusan, Divine Oduduru. But I mean, look at Divine Oduduru. Divine had already run 20.3 at the Olympics before he even stepped foot into the US. Yeah. So we must realize that, you know, if the US today is producing 3 athletes in a generation, when in the past it was giving us Olympic medals, we have to reassess and look and say that we can do this at home as well.
Bambo, we've run out of time, unfortunately, and we do need to bring you back. I think we need a full segment with Bambo to be able to talk about it. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll definitely call you back and have you talk more on what Making of Champions are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that was Bambo. We've talked about the Unforgettables and, of course, the new Unforgettables that we're about to create. Mike, thank you so much. OJ, thank you so much. And of course, the biggest thank you goes to you at home for being a part of this show. Remember to join us again, same time next week, from us right here in our Nigerian studios. We say have a fantastic week ahead of you. Bye-bye.
Hope we don't finish well, though.